Ukraine does not have any rare earth minerals to give. Let's get that clear. This is good for thought. Let's roll.
Good for thought.
What up, everybody? Look, really quickly, this is going to be a super fast video. Everybody and their mama are talking about what happened in the Oval Office between Trump and Zelensky. Look, I'm not in this video. I don't want to go into the details of what's going on in the American hierarchy. What kind of show are they putting on? What's going on this? What's going on that? That will be left for another video. Something I do want all of y'all to really understand, and I've been saying this a million times over. We only get to see about 5% of what is actually going on. And if you ask yourself, or if you ask me, Nas, does that mean that they're putting on these circus shows? Yes, they put on these circus shows, and they are pretty much rehearsed most of the time, or talked about in advance. As far as going, I don't want to be like a conspiracy theorist, but on the occult side, it looks like the good old I'm gonna make you into a sucker publicly ritual that just went down. But again, in this video, I don't want to go into the details of all of that. We can talk about it in another video. This is what I wanted to stress to all the dummies out there, and sadly enough to all the Ukrainian people out there that still think that there are any rare earth minerals or whatever. Look, if there are any, they have been divided already a long time ago. As soon as the Soviet broke up, and even some years before, there were people, let's say, from the West, from the banking families, from, people that really own resources around the world. They were in Ukraine already. They were in Russia already. They were in Kazakhstan already. As soon as the Soviet Union broke up, again, even a couple of years in advance, they were already, CIA and MI6 and everyone was already performing what they were performing. But the point is that in the early 2000s, something happened in Russia where Russia said, we're gonna try to be a true sovereign country again. Now, I don't want to go into the details, what's going on with the hierarchy over there. That's not the point. The point is, and what I keep advocating all these years, why I keep making these videos, is that the Ukrainian people have been so badly beaten, so badly robbed, that they don't even know that they are being beaten and robbed themselves. It is extremely sad. We've had, again, I'm going to shout out Nikolai Petichenko, the journalist that we had on the Lightcast. He had over 65 investigations where he went so deep into the hierarchies of Ukrainian oligarchy and the way they launder money in Ukraine. The point is that there is no rare earth deal. Now, the last, from what I've been hearing, the last that the ground in Ukraine has been surveyed was like in the Soviet Union. But that's not true either, because again, everything in Ukraine has been divided already amongst the oligarchies. The oligarchies have sold off the forest, the land, the sea, whatever Ukraine had, they sold it off. And this is exactly one of another reasons why Russia even came in, because Russia cannot let go of what they consider as their historical territory, and they're not very wrong. Surprise, surprise. Even in the Ukrainian constitution, if you keep reading the Ukrainian constitution, you will find out Ukraine is not all that independent, really, because when there was a referendum, um, in the Soviet Union, the referendum was not for all these countries to become independent. The referendum that the people went and voted for was for a renewed Soviet Union, for a renewed some sort of union. We used to call it SNG. So once they start digging, and they will start digging, because now that they perform their ritual of exposing the sucker publicly and putting him down publicly, they will start exposing all the other stuff that's going on, all the other billions of dollars that went into Zelensky pockets and his team's pockets, and all of these different Tetsika, which are the people that are, snatching men off the streets. They're all dividing amongst each other. But the point is, like, the corruption that's going on now is out of this world. That's one thing. But I want people to realize that for the past 30 years, Ukraine has probably become one of the most, if not the most corrupt country in the whole entire world, in all of history. I keep stressing this because this is something that I keep fighting for, because sometimes, oh, you're a Putinist, or you're on Russia's side. The point is that I'm on the side of the people, because the people have been so robbed. When my mom came to America in the mid 90s and worked her butt off to bring her whole family here, it's not because it was sweet over there. You understand? So what is really going on, what it looks like, and what I've been hearing, and the people that I've been talking to from all throughout the spectrum, is basically that Trump and Putin made a deal already, because Putin probably came out and said, look, legally, this little clown and Ukraine, they don't really have anything. So they made a deal, and what it looks like is this: for the first time, I don't know, I'm speculating and I'm hoping that for the first time, the American elites, they're like, look, man, we have tried this, coming at Russia and breaking up Russia multiple times. It's not working. It's probably not going to work with China. Let's become friends. So that's what it looks like. And again, it looks like Trump and Putin already made a deal. The way Trump is talking about, it looks like they made a deal, but it's not going to be on any rare earth minerals, because if there is something, it's probably been dug up already, or someone has the paperwork for it. For all of that. Again, I want people to understand Ukraine is complete, and I'm not talking about the people. We have amazing people, man. Ukrainian people are amazing people, in majority. I'm talking about the fools, the oligarchs, the thieves that's been robbing the country, the ones that have been in power. Ukraine is lawless. That is why a Gonzalo Lira went over there and disappeared, man. And people disappear every single day. Oppositions get assassinated in the middle of the street in broad daylight. This is happening all the time. You know that journalist Diana Panchenko? She's one of the good guys, actually, man. While she was still in Kiev, this was like in 2022, when everything just started to break off. There was a rocket launcher that came straight in through her office building. Like, this is how serious it is, man. And sadly enough, the Ukrainian armed forces, they were not there. They have not been there to defend Ukraine. They were there to execute criminal orders and to put up a good show. So more and more and more billions are coming in, and they're dividing these billions. Were these billions only divided within the Ukrainian elites? No, they were getting like pennies. You guys know that already. Way before it got to Ukraine, it was already divided amongst people that were supposedly sending it. And then again, we have to remember the reason why they create these wars is to test out new weaponry and to test out new technologies and kind of compete with one another. And that's how the prices in the auctions for weaponry goes up. But the point of this video is, and I keep stressing this, all of you guys, all of you Westerners, all of you Americans, all of you Europeans, you have no idea how corrupt the Ukrainian establishment is. And I will just say this before I close off, that it was so sad that when Ukrainian people went out to protest in Europe, imagine how brainwashed they are, that they are basically saying, look, Europe, you pay us money and we will send off our children to die while they protect all of you European living people. Imagine, and again, I'll say this again because these were mostly people from Western Ukraine that have left Ukraine for many years, and they're living abroad. They don't ever want to come back, but yet they don't want this war to stop. That's how brainwashed they are, and they are willing to send generation after generation of young men to die so they can protect their spot in Europe, man. That's so, when I say Ukrainians are great people, mostly they are great people. But the reason, all of this is happening is also a karmic lesson, because we've been doing this for hundreds and hundreds of years. We were always the weak link for when the enemy comes. It always comes through Ukraine. And, shockingly enough, Russia is the only country that was ever interested in Ukraine prospering, man, because Ukraine was always their bridge into Europe. I keep talking about this. I keep stressing this. This is how twisted everything is. So all of you, my NazareNs, I know all of you are wise enough not to fall in for the trap that they are spinning. This was a very well executed show. Basically, they put the dog down. I won't be surprised if they try to make a martyr out of the dog, or he runs off to some nice Caribbean resort where he already has a couple of mansions, and then karma will eventually catch up to him. So this was good for thought. This was NazareN. Shout out to Romaniya poet Jim Dillinger, my brother Tomek, my brother David Borenik, my brother Alan, Melody, Mary E, Jana, like all of you, man. Shout out to Spencer Reese. I got much love for you. A lot of stuff is coming. I just had to record this video real quick. We're not fooled, man. You know what we say, Uno.